Hello, my name is Bianca, and welcome to our study of David's life once again. Today we are studying the section, A Message for the Last Days, from the lesson, A Legacy of Mercy and Justice. And the first question for us today says, how is the promise in 2 Samuel 7:16 fulfilled? I'm going to read a couple of the verses from 2 Samuel chapter 7, starting with verse 8. Now therefore, so shalt thou say unto my servant David, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, to be ruler over my people, over Israel. And I was with thee whithersoever thou went, and have cut off all thy enemies out of thy sight, and have made thee a great name, like unto the name of the great men that are in the earth. Verse 12, And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. And verse 16, And thine house and thy kingdom shall be established forever before thee, thy throne shall be established forever. So we know that the promise found in these verses was fulfilled by the fact that Jesus himself was born from the line of David. And in the verses from Luke, we find that it says, The Lord shall give unto him the throne of his father David, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. The second question for today says, What message penned by David is of distinct importance in these last days of earth's history? Psalm 119 verses 33 to 40 say, Teach me, O Lord, the way of thy statutes, and I shall keep it unto the end. Give me understanding, and I shall keep thy law. Yea, I shall observe it with my whole heart. Make me to go in the path of thy commandments, for therein do I delight. Incline my heart unto thy testimonies, and not to covetousness. Turn away mine eyes from beholding vanity, and quicken thou me in thy way. Establish thy word unto thy servant who is devoted to thy fear. Turn away my reproach which I fear, for thy judgments are good. Behold, I have longed after thy precepts. Quicken me in thy righteousness. And I'm going to read the note found under the second question here that says, It is possible for men to go so far in wickedness under continual remonstrance that God sees that he must arise and vindicate his honor. Thus it is at the present period of this earth's history. Crime of every degree is becoming more and more strikingly manifest. The earth is filled with violence of men against their fellow men. What position will the church take? Will those who in the past have had respect for the law of God be drawn into the current of evil? Will the almost universal transgression and contempt of the law of God darken the spiritual atmosphere of the souls of all alike? Will the disrespect of the law of God sweep away the protecting barriers? Because wickedness and lawlessness prevail, is the law of God to be less highly esteemed? Because it is made void by the great majority of those living on the earth, shall the few loyal ones become like all the disloyal, and act as the wicked act? Shall they not rather offer up the prayer of David, It is time for thee, Lord, to work, for they have made void thy law? Such prayers as this the Lord's servants should be continually offering to him. This prayer reveals a consecration to God of heart and mind. It is the consecration that God is asking us to make. In this note, we saw that it asked the question, what position will the church take? So I want to ask you, what position do you take? Will you consecrate yourself to God fully? Will you uphold his commandments? This is the message that David penned here. Who will be the ones who will uphold the commandments of God? Will you hold them up for the world to see, or will you be among those who make God's law void? May the Lord help us to understand and to give us the strength to keep his commandments, to hold fast until the very end. Please don't forget to join me again tomorrow as we review this lesson.